So if you've got like a family, looking for a car, like a mid-range SUV, they've got kids, maybe one or two kids, what do you think would be like a good, still nice, they're getting a lot of car, but affordable. They're not spending loads per month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say best car for the family, if we're looking within price points, good spec, size, that sort of thing, you're probably looking at the Hyundai Tucson in the current market. I think for the prices you can get them, sub 350, £400 a month, so you're not breaking the bank, probably the best option. You get a good amount of spec on there, fuel economy is not too bad on the hybrids, they are really good.
And if I'm a family and I'm thinking, well, do you know what, the Hyundai Tucson's great, I like it, but I want other options. What other options could I get?
You could go for smaller, go for something, again, mentioned before, Peugeot 2008. If you want to go bigger, you've got the option of an X-Trail.
What's an X-Trail? So for someone watching this and they're thinking, you mentioned X-Trail there. What's an X-Trail?
It's a Nissan, so it's a Nissan X-Trail, slightly bigger than the smaller one, which is a Nissan Qashqai, which is compared with the Tucson. Again, in terms of payments, they're similar to a Hyundai Tucson at the moment with some of our prices. If you need a bit more space, for shopping or whatever the kids do, you've got it there. If you don't need as much space, that's where the Peugeot comes into play. It's a little bit smaller, a bit easier to manoeuvre, a bit cheaper as well on the payments.
What would you get? Being honest, so if you had a family, if you had a family, yeah. Well, you've got a family, but with your family, what would you get if you say, right, I've got a budget of, what's an average family budget, would you say? 350 a month, maybe 300 a month? Are we going higher? What family car, I know we've got all profile terms and all that, but just a headline top rental would you get if you was a family? What would you be thinking?
I think it comes down to personal preference as well. Obviously, everyone likes what they like. Me personally, I prefer the Hyundai Tucson. I just like the way it looks, the way it drives, and what you get for value for money. I'm a big advocate for my Hyundais and Kias, which are very similar brands. So that's my personal preference.
So when you say Kias, because we've not talked about Kia, what would you say that's in there? So if I'm, again, family, I really need this car, what would you say in terms of Kia sort of sits in this mid-range SUV, affordable, but still nice, still good, from the Kia range?
There's two options, I'd say. So you've got the obvious one, which is between us, which is a Kia Sportage, direct equivalent to a Tucson. And an honourable mention, it's not an SUV, it's the Kia Proceed. So even though it's a bit lower down, you've got more boot space of it being like a couped SUV to shooting brake. So you've got a lot more space in the boot and in the back for, let's say, your kids or other family members, that sort of thing. And again, value for money wise, there's no other cars really in that market which is below £300 a month.